to Scrapbook Spending Freeze 101. This is our third lesson. And can I just say at the start, this lesson I would think is appropriate even if you're not considering a spending freeze at the moment. I think for anyone who wants to be a little bit mindful about the input that's coming in and really wanting to focus on maximising creativity, I think you might find that there's something in here for you as well, because the theme of today's lesson is focus on what inspires you to create, not on what inspires you to spend. And that was the kind of, I guess, motto of my blog, Spend Less, Craft More, when I first started out. Just trying to be a little bit more conscious of thinking about what input is coming in and what effect it kind of has on your brain. And really our goal is the creative side. That's why we spend in the first place. You know, that's our ideal, is actually not just to buy for the sake of buying, but to create. That's what scrapbooking is all about. And again, I think it's probably appropriate to all sorts of crafts, not just scrapbooking. So the obvious thing, I think we'll talk about avoiding the things that inspire us to spend first. The obvious thing, of course, is just walking into a shop and having a bit of a, we might think of it as a window shopping, but we end up, walking out with something because, of course, we see something beautiful. So that's an easy thing to avoid. Just stay away from the craft shops or the craft section of the shops while you're on your freeze as much as possible. But I think there's a lot more these days that kind of sneaks up on us through our, our social media and our email and things like that. So I guess the obvious things on YouTube, for example, it's all your it's your haul videos, it's your unboxing videos, it's your anything that's sort of talking about new products or sales. They're the sort of really obvious, easy things to start thinking about avoiding. So whether it's through YouTube, whether it's through your emails, your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever, starting to think about how we can minimise those things kind of jumping up on us. It might be about how you manage your subscriptions with emails, for example. I still do get quite a few emails from various online stores, but they all go straight into a folder. So I don't see those. They're not sitting there in my inbox ready to jump and surprise me with some beautiful new product. I actually have to go looking, and I don't go looking in that folder unless I'm specifically ready to buy something. And then generally what I'll do is sometimes you really do need to get something straight away, but often I'll just start, okay, I'm ready to think about buying something, and I'll just actually then sit and wait for a sale. Same with my blog reader. I use Feedly, and I have folders set up specifically for manufacturers. I have folders set up specifically for my online challenges, which I will talk about more in a little while. So that's really, you can really direct where the information flows in. So it's not just flowing in onto you unprepared. You've got to go looking for it. But you can also go looking more directly for the things that are going to inspire you. So that's the obvious things to avoid. And then you get things like your process videos, for example. And that's when you've actually got to start engaging your brain and thinking, well, what does this make me want to do? If you're watching a process video and actually you go, oh, I love those products she's using, I want to go out and buy those, maybe that's not the best video for you. If you're watching a video and you go, wow, I love that technique she's using, and then you go and give that a try, well, obviously that's perfect. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the inspiration that gets us ready to sit down to our desk and create. But then there's also this big grey area, which we might think of it as craft time, as inspiration time, but it just ends up just being our time wasting. And I think we all have done that at different times, watching multiple YouTube videos in a row, sitting on Pinterest and just pinning and pinning and pinning and pinning with no, thing in sight that we've done for it other than having a board full of new pins, sitting and looking at things on Facebook, that sort of thing. And there's nothing wrong with doing those things as part of your downtime. It's just when it sneaks in and takes over what really we plan to be our creative time, and it ends up not being creative. So it's really, again, it's about just switching on your brain and going, what do I want to do with this time? If I want to just have some downtime, well, sure, go ahead and watch a couple of process videos, or go ahead and pin to Pinterest, or look at Instagram or whatever. But if you're wanting creative time, you need to kind of go in with a bit of a different mindset. So you might go to Pinterest with a photo in front of you or a product in front of you, and only look as long as it takes you to find something that inspires you to have a go and create yourself. Something that I found works really well with process videos is I actually mainly only watch them now when I'm actually at my craft desk creating. I call it scrapping with friends, so I'm sitting there scrapping with Shamel or whoever I'm watching at the time, and I found that I am so much more inspired now, not all necessarily on the project that I'm working on, but I might see something they're doing and go, okay, my next page, I'm going to incorporate something like that. And I think it's partly just to do with your brain. When you're just sitting there watching, it's like, watching a YouTube video is no different to watching TV. You're kind of in this very passive state. You're just, letting it all wash over you. Whereas when you're in a creative state of mind, you're a little bit more active, you're a little bit more engaged. And I think that's the key to that. So the other thing that I want to move on to now, so we've talked about things to avoid, things to manage. My particular strategy for finding things that inspire me to create is I often do online challenges. You might already do some yourself and you'll know what you like about that. If you haven't, I'll just quickly talk you through what I like about them. So number one, I guess there's a deadline. So it kind of gets you right. It's not just going to sit there on this. I've actually got to get that done. I've got to, often deadlines do get us moving. So number one, there's your deadline. Often there's a little prize, and obviously as spending freezes, our biggest goal isn't to get more product in, but sometimes that's just another little bit of that motivation. Once you've put that finished page or whatever, linked it to the site of the online challenge, you'll generally find that the design team or whoever will then visit your blog or wherever you've posted your project, and they'll give you this positive feedback. And again, that's a really positive, it's a nice feeling. It's kind of, I guess, about we're not getting that little buzz, that little reward that we get from buying something new. So it's great to replace that. So, and we do it just on a multiple level. We get the feedback when we're posting in the online challenge, but we also, even before that, we're getting the positive feeling of just having a finished product in front of us and ticking it off. If we're doing a spending freeze of a certain number of pages, every time you do that little check mark, you give yourself that tiny little reward, and that then inspires you to keep on creating. Now, the type of online challenges that you do, well, obviously it's up to you and how you're inspired and what you like to do. My personal favourites are sketches and colour challenges. The reason being that they're the easiest ones, that they give you a starting point, which again, that's, an easy way to get yourself in to the creative mode. You've got that starting point, but they're very easy starting points to just add your own product to. If you've got a sketch, any product that you've got, you know roughly how you can lay your papers. You've got these 3 or whatever spots to put your embellishment in. So it's very easy to focus on using the product that you already own. The same with the colour challenge. You're looking through your stash for the colours. And I guess a mood board can be a little bit like that. You're looking for things that mood board, either the colours or the shapes or the styles. You're just looking for things like that in your stash. And again, I get those sent, as I said, directly to a particular folder in my blog reader, and I can go straight there and go through, and I'll have maybe 4 or 5 challenges as a suggestion, and I might pick 1 or 2 a month, and I'll actually get those challenges done. The ones that I like the best, I still do tend to print things out, and I'll file those away for later reference. So sometimes you might not have an online challenge that you feel like doing, but you've got a particular set of photos, and it's very easy then to just go to where I've got my sketches filed away, look for a sketch that matches that set of photos, and again, I've got that starting point, I've got that inspiration to get me going. Yeah, so I guess that's the main things that I wanted to talk to you about today. So I guess homework wise is, if you've never done it before, try an online challenge. Over the next week or so, I'll post some of my favourites onto our Facebook group. If you've got some favourites that you love, why don't you post them on and let us know what you like doing as well. If you haven't joined the group yet, please feel free to join. We'd love to have you, and I'll try and remember to link that in the description box below. Any questions or comments that you might have, I've got 2 more lessons planned for this series, but if you've got anything you would like to make sure that I include, please let me know through the Facebook group or through the comments, and I'll try and include that either in those 2 lessons, or perhaps even add another one if there's a reason to do that. So all the best with all that, guys. I'll catch you on the Facebook group, and I'll see you again here in a couple of weeks. Bye bye.